Public speakers, are there any? Next item is approval of the minutes of the first city committee work plan.
There are no changes, Mr. Chairman.
Committee members have any other comments? None heard. Michael, you want to take us through
yes,
the
definitely.
balance?
Definitely, sounds good. Naeem then, who will give us a brief summary of the summary. And nice jacket, by the way.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I can't compete with Mike, though. But thank you. Mr. Chairman, we continue to reach out to small businesses as well as minority and women-owned businesses and service-disabled veteran-owned businesses, and the activities are listed in our book. For the certification activity report, for the first 3 months of 2018, some 44 applications were received. This number is higher when compared to the same period in the last 2 years. For the applications processed, a total of 18 applications were processed. This number is lower than the number processed in the past 2 years for the same period. I would like to point out happily that we have reduced the number of applicants which have been returned, and for this period there were actually no applications returned. So that is a good thing. I also want to point out that Danny Camacho was promoted to head the certification unit, and I'm glad to see him here today. For the EEO report, there's some 74,400 employees overall in our workforce, and 18% or 13,000 are women, and some 50,000 or 69% are minorities. And there are additional 1,900 employees who are veterans. Compared to the first quarter of 2017, the percentage of women has remained the same at 18%, while the representation of minorities has increased by 1,700 employees, or 3%. We have also conducted availability analysis of work in the workforce of minorities and women, and majority of the underutilization is identified in technicians, skill craft, and service maintenance job categories. For the new hire report, over 1,350 employees were hired for the 3 months of 2018. Over 300 of them are women, and over 980 of them are minorities. Additionally, 48 identify themselves as veterans. That's 4%. Both minorities and women were hired at a higher percentage compared to their representation in the workforce. For EEO complaints, as you know, we handle EEO and Title VI complaints. For EEO complaints, 363 complaints handled, which is 196 internal, 167 external. And additionally, 295 Title VI complaints were handled. When compared to 2017, for the same time period, both EEO and Title VI complaints handled in 2018, that number is higher than the previous years. And the small business update.
George Clary.
Good afternoon, Chairman. The full report, Small Business Development Report, could be found on page 72. Currently, we have 265 contractors participating in the program. Since the inception, it's 311, not 331, but 311 projects totaling $295 million in prime contracts have been awarded. In our loan program, we have 103 loans that have been approved, totaling $14.4 million. 86 projects were completed with loans. Our surety bond assistance program, which is geared towards our Tier 2 and federal program, have yielded $242 million single and $460 million in aggregate surety bonding, respectively, to our contractors. 86 contracts have been awarded within the Tier 2 and federal program since the inception. As it pertains to jobs, job creation since the inception of the program, an estimated 7,000 jobs were created with small businesses, MWDBE, and SDVOB community. This concludes my executive summary.
Thanks, George. And we're going to hover around, I would say, between 75 and 80 million dollars this year, and we're still running into a not an issue, but the agencies are dropping a lot of projects during the high peak bidding season. We have a similar program at the SCA, and there's an overlap of firms bidding there and bidding here, and we're finding that if we wait until the third quarter to start to allocate projects, the prices start to go up because you have contractors now choosing between the MTA and the SCA. And so we're going to work on that. So hopefully next year, the agencies will bring balance to the projects that they designed for us.
For the for the contract compliance report for the federal fiscal year 2017, we're presenting numbers for the fiscal year that ended in September 2017. We are in the process of preparing our report for the first 6 months of federal fiscal year 2018, which will be submitted to the FTA by June 1st. And at that time, we will provide those numbers. But for the 27 federal fiscal year, some 1.5 billion federal contract awards, of which 244 million or 16% was awarded to DBEs. Additionally, 1.4 billion was paid in federally funded contracts, with 285 million or 21% going to DBEs. The goal for federal fiscal year 2017 was 17%. However, for the federal fiscal year 2018, that goal was slightly increased to 18%. For the for the state-funded contracts, the overall goal for MWB participation is 30%, and $5 billion was awarded for the reporting period in state-funded contracts, with $618 million being awarded to MWBEs. For payments, some $2.4 billion was awarded to MBEs, to primes rather, and to MBEs, $634 million or 27%. We also have the goal for service-disabled veteran-owned businesses of 6%. For the reporting period, $1.7 million was awarded to such firms. In terms of payments, the awards to service-disabled veteran-owned businesses was $1.8 million, which equals 33% participation. For discretionary procurements, out of $47.5 million with value of $400,000 or less, $11 million or 23% was awarded to MWBEs, and an additional $1.6 million or 3% to small business concerns. For architectural and engineering awards, which were made through the discretionary procurement process, out of $47.5 million, which was, three projects were awarded for the reporting period with a total value of $583,000. For the total awards since inception, that amount is $2.2 million. We also report on discretionary procurements for the IT, and for the reporting period, 24 awards were made with value of $4 million. Since inception of this process, some $59 million has been awarded through this. And for legal fees, total of $38 million was awarded in outside counsel fees, and $3 million of that, or 8%, was awarded to MWBE law firms. Mr. Chairman, as you know, we continue to close our projects. And over 1,200 projects were closed as of March 31st, with an additional 18 are in the process of being closed, and 49 projects are pending agency action before they can be closed out.
Let me say in the area of IT, I would like to give Weil Hebrew and his staff a great compliment, because with the firms that's part of the pool, there's been about 316 awards totaling almost $16 million. In comparison to the A&E, we are going to be meeting with the agencies because it appears that they're not embracing this concept the way that they should. So we want to meet with all of the chief engineers to find out how we can do a more effective job as we go back out into the marketplace via a new RFP. But while and the staff, they've done a fantastic job.
Additionally, Mr. Chairman, there were 163 site visits done for the first 3 months of 2018, which is about 54 visits per month on average, and managers are required to conduct at least 8 site visits per month. And I'll move on to capital projects. For the 3 months of this year, some $332 million was awarded on federally funded construction projects, with $37 million or 11% going to DBEs. Additionally, for the state-funded projects, some $1.64 billion was awarded, with MBEs achieving $47 million or 3%, and WBEs achieving $22 million or 1%. There was no additional service-disabled on veteran businesses' participation in these contracts. For financial services, Patrick is here to make his report.
Good afternoon, everyone. For financial services, the report will be found on page 126. From April 2017 to March 2018, $15 million was awarded in underwriter fees. MBE participation was $3.4 million, or 22%, and WBE participation was $2.4 million, or 16%. So a total MWBE participation was $5.8 million, or 38% of the total award of $15 million. There was an additional $921,000, or 6%, was paid to SDVOBs. And just to note that these numbers were the same as reported in February because there was no activity between January 2018 and March 2018. The program that we're doing is going well. We get positive reception from the underwriters that are benefiting from the program. So we're pretty proud of the performance that we've done so far.
So the total MWSDVOB is what?
So the total together is 38 and 6. So that's 44%.
So the highest in the state, right?
I believe so. That's what you tell me.
Definitely it is the highest in the state. So it sure is. But no, Bob Ferran and Pat and you've done an outstanding job. So thank you.
So thank you.
For the asset fund managers report, Mr. Chairman, the total assets being managed by the MWB firms are $1.1 billion, or 15%. Majority of the assets are in the traditional asset classes.
I want to just hope and pray that we hire somebody. Sean Crawford has left, as you know, and from day one, Sean came in and fully embraced this. And it's one thing to talk about an agency that has over $1 billion in assets currently being managed by our certified firms. So Sean did a great, fantastic job.
And that concludes our report.
Once again, finally, the staff you see here, they're the best in the country at what they do. They live, eat, breathe, and sleep MWB inclusion, and the results are showing. And thank you for your support as well.
Now we need a motion to adjourn.